Hello, happy Monday. Welcome to the live session, everybody. Hopefully we're all live at the same time. I'm just going to give it a few minutes to catch up. If you're just joining, today is going to be a full body Pilates class, 30 minutes, no equipment needed, so just you and your mat. We are going to be focusing on a more intermediate style, so we're going to add a little bit of dynamic movements, add a bit of playfulness, a little bit of fun to the classical exercises that you are familiar with. So yeah, come and grab your mat, join us live, and then after the session we will have a Q&A where you can ask any questions that come up from this class or any other classes that you have done. Alrighty, to get started, we're going to come into our warm-up. We're going to come to our back. So just taking a moment there, coming down to the center of your mat, feet resting, and let's open the arms nice and wide. Tip the knees side to side, finding a gentle stretch through the lower back and the hips. Taking a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Let's go one more time to each side. Lovely. And then bringing it back through center, feet in line with your hips and hands down next to the side of your body on the mat. Let's take it to bridge. Roll your hips up towards your shoulders, all the way up off the mat. Hold it at the top and roll it back down with control. Finding that exhale as you lift and lower. Inhale at the top and bottom. As you press into your feet, feel like you can pull them back towards your shoulders, activating glutes and hamstrings. Press into your hands for activation of the back. Lovely. Taking this at your own pace. Got a little hamstrings right there. Continue rolling. Happens to the best of us. Good. Let's go 2 more. Often I have new beginners getting cramps in the hamstring and they're like, why? It happens. Let's go. Last one, all the way up. Pause at the tips of the shoulder blades. Big breath in. And exhale all the way down. Open the arms to wide T position or goalpost, legs to tabletop. Squeeze those heels together. Rotate the knees across to the one side. Extend the legs if you can. Come back through center and bend the knees again. Inhale to twist. Exhale, extend back through center and bend. Lovely. Keeping your opposite shoulder on the ground, twist from your waist. And as you come back in with control, gently find that weight in the opposite hip. Gotta feel that your belly button pulls back as you twist, finding more core connection, deep abdominals. Lovely, one more. And center. And bend. Let's take it into chest lift. Wrap the hands around the shins. Lift up through the chest to the tips of the shoulder blades. Double leg stretch. Inhale. Exhale. Pull it back in. You're lifting up to the tips of the shoulder blade. You pull your belly button towards your chest as you extend. Foot 2. And one more, we take single leg stretch. One leg comes towards you, opposite leg extends, and then switch. Exhale. Steady through the torso, equal weight on both shoulders. Lengthen through your head. Let's go 2. And 1 single leg. Hamstring stretch, extend this leg at the top, drop through that bottom leg, switch for 8, 7, 6, broaden through the chest, 4, 3, 2, hold it here on 1, bend this top knee, hands behind your head, twist towards that knee and switch. Keep the leg high to be more supportive and lower down for more challenge. Twist from shoulder to shoulder at the waist. 3 and 2. 1 more, and we'll bring it all the way down. Lovely work, feet down in line with your hips. Reach your hands up towards the ceiling. Your palms are facing your knees. We're going to take one leg to tabletop position. You're going to lift your chest up and then extend this leg. Pull it in, lower your chest, and then lift up your hip. Lower the hips, and then lift into that chest lift with the leg extension. You want equal pressure in both of your hips on the way down and in that chest lift. Squeeze through that glute as you lift up your hips. Lovely. Only lifting up as much as feels good for you. So try not force it. Keep it in a range that's comfortable. Let's go 2. Exhale into that chest lift and hip lift. Last one, we're going to keep those hips lifted. Lift up through the hips, hold it there. Extend through that top leg. You're going to lower and lift that leg. Bring your hands down to the mat for more support, or stretch them back behind you for more challenge. You also have the option to keep your hands above your shoulders, which is that happy medium. 3. Press into that bottom foot. Lift the hips a little higher. And 1. Keep the leg up, bring the hands down. Curl your hips down to the mat for leg circle. We go straight down, around, and lift. Good, so hopefully you're starting to find that connection to the flow and the playfulness of today's class. 1 breath per circle, or exhale to lift. 1 more, and then we're going to reverse the circle around, straight up through center. Can we find more stability in the hips? Imagining a cup on the pelvis. And pull your ribcage into the ground for more support. Last 3, 2. Great work. 1, bring it in, bend that knee, lower the foot. Awesome. Bring your hands next to the side of your body. Find that connection to core. We're going to take a deep breath in. Exhale, rolling up through both of the hips. Just a moment stretch here for that hip. And roll it back down. You're going to feel that hip flexor stretching, maybe even the quad. Lovely. Let's go 1 more, and then we're going to take it over to the other side. Great. All the way down. Lift the arms over shoulders, second leg to tabletop. We take chest lift and hip lift. So we lift up through the chest, extend the leg, bring it all the way back in, press and lift up through that hip. Exhale as you take the chest lift as well as your hip lift. Inhale each time you lower down to the mat. Can you think of tucking your pelvis, engaging through the deep transverse abdominals, which is going to keep your hips even as you lift and lower? Very important here. Good. Pressing into that bottom heel will really help to engage the glute. Let's go 1 more. Let's lift it all the way up. Hold it there. Extend through that top leg. Lower and lift that leg. Steady the hips. Bring the hands down if you need it. We'll take it up overhead. Stretch for more challenge. We want to think of pressing into that bottom foot as our leg goes down to keep the hips even. Can you find that connection? Last 3, 2, and 1. Keep that leg up, lower the hands and hips. Leg circle, we go down, around, and lift. Pulling your belly button towards your rib cage and your ribs down to the ground. Activating deep core. 3, 2, bring it up and reverse. We want to check in with that bottom leg. We try not to swing it around, to press into your bottom foot. Think of squeezing your inner thighs. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Lower that leg straight down, extend that opposite leg out, lift up through both arms. Full roll up, half lift the chest. Inhale, exhale, we curl and dive over towards the feet. Exhale, curl all the way or halfway back. Pressing your heels into the ground. Lightly pull them towards your glutes will really help find more connection in the lower body, which helps you draw into the core to find that lift. As you dive forward, pull your core back, so belly button towards your lower back, finding that deep C stretch. Let's go 2. And 1 more. All the way to the top. Full stretch. Can you stretch forward a little bit more? Pull your hip bones back, pull your core back, and then bring your shoulders forward and reset to a straight spine. Open the legs, sit up tall with a straight back. If you've dropped, soften the knees. We spine stretch forward, reach to the mat in front of you, back to a straight spine, then twist. We take the hand around to the wall behind you, open the chest, and come back through center, spine stretch. All the way up, other side. Twist, open, stretch. And spine stretch. We want equal weight in those hips, twisting at your waist, lifting up through the crown of your head. And think of lengthening through your neck so that your shoulders rest on your back. So we don't want to pull those shoulders in. It happens often. Let them rest. Sitting up taller. Let's go. Last one. And we're going to come into some fun side work. Around and center. Lovely. Release those hands down. Flip over to the side. So you've got one of 2 options. You're going to either take the intermediate version, which is hand around the rib cage, rest on your shoulder, legs are together slightly in front of you, or your arm is long underneath your head. Let's take that exhale breath, find your alignment and lift through the waist. Lift both of your legs away from the ground and lower. So we want to think of the support around our neck. So we don't want that neck to hang out. We want to press into the front hand to lengthen through the neck. Activating into this top oblique. We're going to add on lowering the legs, press into your front hand. You're going to come up, lower down, and lift. Now, if you have that arm down under your head, you might not be able to lift up as high. You might not be able to lift up at all. That's okay. Stick with where you're at, which is strengthening this oblique. Adding in the challenge to add that sense of playfulness and strength. Let's go 2. Good. And 1 more. Let's hold those legs up. Lengthen them a little bit more. Scissor kicks. We go forward 2 and switch. Check in with that head. Gaze to the wall in front of you. Lengthen through the crown. 3, 2, and 1. Bring it together and all the way down. Let's lift up onto that forearm. So we'll all come up onto the forearm now. We're going to press into that elbow, lift through the side of the waist, lift and lower that top leg. Exhale as you lift that leg. We want to check in with our waist. We don't want to collapse here every time the leg comes up. The distance of your rib cage to the mat stays the same. Adding in a little bit of fun, we're going to flex the foot down, finding that ankle mobility, and then point to come up. Drop the head a little bit, find some ease there. We've got 4 and 3. Checking in with that shoulder at the bottom. And 1 more. We're going to hold it here. We're going to pull that leg back, find the squeeze, find your core, and then bend your leg, bicycle forward, pull back. We have this little micro movement in the upper body, but not so much that we go into the lower body and the lower back, sorry. So we don't want to go all the way there. It's just a tiny little shift. Feel that glute as we bend the knee. Last one. Reverse, we reach back, bicycle forward. Can you find those moments of pause before you reach back? And think of stretching from your head to your heel. Last 3. Good. And 1 more. We're going to take that leg back behind you, drop it down to the ground, twist forward, find that rotation, gazing down to the mat. Find your moment, release. Unravel, bring your back leg down behind your knee and your hand next to the side of your hip. We're going to take it up into a side lift. So you're pressing into both of your feet to lift up the waist and lower with control. Deep breath in as you lift, exhale on the way down. Option to add challenge by hooking your top heel in front. Bending the knees as you lower. Pressing into your hand on the mat so that you don't drop into that shoulder. Very important as well. And you can think of squeezing inner thighs. Last 3. And 2. Good. 1 more. We'll come into a stretch. Bring it all the way down. And just finding a moment stretch here out of that shoulder. And twist around down towards that knee. Good, let's open it up. Let's take it into a mermaid stretch. So you're bringing your hand down, twisting around, finding thoracic twist. And open. Nice big exhale breath as you twist and lengthen. Inhale to lift up. So really getting a little bit of movement there in the mid-back. Let's go 2. And 1 more. Open it all the way up. Let's take it over to the other side. So either you're on the shoulder or all the way with a long arm underneath your head. Stretch those legs away. Find that lift through the waist. We begin to lift and lower just the legs. Exhale on the way up and inhale, lower with control. We want to be focusing on this oblique. So we stretch those legs away as you lift, and you're going to feel that activation. Adding on the arm, if it feels good for you, lower the legs, press into the front hand, lift the shoulder, lower, and back to the legs. The exhale breath every time we lift either the shoulder or the legs. Inhale as we come down to the mat. Let's go 3. Lengthening through that neck. Good. Last 2. How are we feeling here? Nice and strong. 1 more. Hold those legs up for your scissor kicks. Hold them up. We take 1 forward, 1 back. Double kick. And switch. Keep it nice and small. You don't want to feel like you're wobbling around on your hips, so keep it small so that you're stable. Pull your core in a little bit more, find that connection. Lovely. 3 and 2 and 1 and center down up onto the forearm. We're pressing into the elbow, we're lifting the side of the waist. Find that alignment, ear and hip. Lift and lower that leg. Good, so taking that moment for your alignment really helps you to tap into finding the activation in the right places so that we're not compensating, dropping that head. Let's add in that flex of the foot to really get into that ankle mobility. Stretch that leg away. Can you lift through the side of the shoulder? Oh, feel that glute. Last 2. And 1, hold it. We're pulling it back to find that activation of glute. Bend and cycle forward. It's all about that control here. So it's almost like our forward back, but we're adding in that bend. Creating a little bit of fun here. Can we find more connection to core, more stability in that bottom shoulder? 1, take it back, reverse forward, bend, reach back. I like to extend through the head, which really helps you take the weight out of that bottom shoulder and help with stability. Last 3. Good. 2. And 1, take that leg back behind you down to the ground and find a twist around, gaze to the mat. We'll bring it around, bring that foot down behind you, up, line up that hand with your hip, and we take it all the way up into that side stretch. You want to be pressing into both of the feet, that long one and the one behind you. Press into your hand on the way down. Taking it into the challenge, leg comes in front of you. Squeezing those inner thighs on that lift. Really think of lengthening up through that head. It really keeps you nice and light. Let's go 3. We can also think about this bottom rib and hip staying together on the way down. And 1 more. All the way down. Let's take a twist. Z-sit stretch. Up and over. Well done. Take a second. Twist down to that knee. Find the stretch in the back. Unravel to mermaid into that side stretch. Top arm to T. Twist it around. And open. Allow that bottom shoulder and elbow to swivel. And find that twist from the mid-back to the crown of your head. 1 more. And open. Fantastic. We're going to come to prone position. Face down on the mat. Once you're down there, you're going to lengthen through your arms. Press your palms down to the ground. Your head is off the mat. Your legs are just wider than your hips. You're going to take an inhale breath. Float your hands and feet away from the ground. Almost like a Superman. Pull your elbows down to your waist. Extend the arms and lower everything down. Inhale, we come up. Exhale to bend. Inhale to extend and exhale to lower. You also have the option to keep your feet on the ground if lifting them off goes into your lower back. Keeping your gaze down to the ground. a steady, stable neck in line with your tail. Let's go 2. Feel that activation in the mid-back, maybe even the glutes and hamstrings. Last 1. Extend. And down. This time we're going to add on our kicks. So you're going to lift up everything, find your core first, float hands and feet off the ground, swim and kick your legs. Inhale for 5, exhale for 5. On your next exhale, you're going to pull your elbows down to your waist. As you inhale, lengthen the arms. Exhale for 5. Inhale for 5. So it's a slow movement there with the arms as you kick through the legs. Equal weight in both of your hips, steady torso. Lengthen through that neck. 3. Can you find more length? Can you find more lift? 1 more. Extend and lower it down. Lift yourself up onto your forearms. Lift your chest away from the ground, all the way forward into single leg kick. Lift both legs up. We take one heel, we go kick, kick, extend, and switch. And extend. Thinking of bringing your heel to the opposite glute will activate that hamstring. The higher up your legs are, the more you're going to feel the glutes. Press down into the forearms to find that stretch in the chest. Core is engaged. Upper body and shoulders are stable. 3 more rounds. Good. We're nearing the end. 2. Lovely. And 1. Extend. Lower everything down for swan. Hands under shoulders. Press into your hands. Begin to lift your chest. Bringing the elbows off the mat if you can. Exhale to come down with control. Inhale as you lift. Pull the chest forward and up. Gaze is in front of you. The crown of the head reaches up. On the next one, you can take your regular swan, or you can take into swan dive, which is we're going to rock forward and back. So hold it at the top. If you want to take swan dive, release your hand, rock forward, press your hands into the ground to lift. Good. You can stick with the controlled version if you prefer. Let's go 4 and 3 and 1 and lower with control. Beautiful work. Tuck your toes in and press yourself back into a pike, also known as a downward dog. That's going to feel really good there for the lower back and hips. Let's bend the knees, open the chest, inhale, and then exhale. We'll take it into pike again. Inhale, stretch the chest. Exhale, cat stretch into pike. You're welcome to keep your knees down to the ground and take regular cat-cows. Let's go 2. Starting to find that ease again. 1 more. And all the way down, extending back through one leg, opposite arm. We're going to twist it around back behind you, open through the chest. Twist back through center, staying on this side. Good. Coming into that breath, slowing it down. Hopefully that sound in the background isn't coming through. Let's go 2 more. And 1. And we're going to twist it under. Find a thread through under. Press your hips back and drop into that shoulder. Deep breath in and out. Let's take it over to the other side, finishing off here. Extend the opposite leg. Reach the arm forward, twist around, and back through center. Finding that ease in the chest and the hip. Nice big inhale, breath as you open. Let's go 2 more. And then we'll thread under for those final few breaths. Thread underneath. Press your hips back, bring your ear down to the mat if you can. Nice big inhale through the nose. Long exhale through the mouth. One more breath. We'll unravel, come to 4 point. Press your hips back. Find that stretch in the lower back and shoulders. We'll roll it up. Lift up through the arms. Inhale and find a neutral breath as your arms release down. Well done. Thank you so much for joining me for today's Monday live class. Hopefully you enjoyed that more playful element of our classical style of Pilates and you enjoyed the challenge. And if there was anything that you weren't able to do, you can always come back to this class and try it again. And if there were any questions that came up for you, you can come and chat in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions and I will give you support and feedback and tips here while we are live. Thank you so much for joining me. If this is all for you today, I will see you in our next session. And for everyone else that is staying, let's have a chat and check in. All right, how are we feeling? I'm going to close this window. I'll be with you in a second. I accidentally left that open. I am so sorry. So hopefully it wasn't too noisy. How are we feeling today? Who's here? Hi, Lucy. Hi, Charlene. Thank you so much for your super thanks. I really appreciate it. It was very, very kind of you. Need a quick water. Hello, welcome. It's so lovely to have you here. I don't recognize your name, so I believe that you are new. If this is your very first live class, welcome. How was it for you? Let me know if you have any questions. I know that we did some new work today, especially for our regulars, the one that's on that side arm. So we added in that oblique without the support of the bottom arm. So I'm curious to know, how did that feel for you? Were you able to find the control and balance on the shoulder? Did you play around with it? Yeah, always like to take the work we know and see how can we change it up? How can we add a little bit of fun to it so that it keeps us awake? We never want to come to class and feel like we're just doing the same old boring movements. How can we find that deeper connection? The class was pretty tough today. Yes, definitely a lot more challenging movements, especially when it comes to balancing. How was your shoulder? I'm sure that you took the modification or the option to lie down on your arm, especially for the pushing. I'm not sure your shoulder would have been ready for that. So hopefully you had that as an alternative. But it was amazing. Thank you. I'm really glad that you still enjoyed it and that it still felt amazing for you. Hi, John. Thank you so much. Testing. Testing as in challenging, or you testing the chat? Thank you. Good fun. Also, hammy crab, especially John, who cycled for 2. Oh, wow. Well done for cycling for 2 hours and coming to Pilates. High five. Nicely done. Yeah, I think that was the first time I got a cramp live. And it was actually really good to experience it so that we can all see that it happens. We flow through it. We just dial back that movement. We take a second. It happens. I've been doing a lot more running recently, so I've noticed my hammies have been cramping more. So I think that's something I need to work on. Hammy also cramped. See, all together, one big hammy cramp. I'm glad that we all had a moment there to enjoy a collective hammy cramp. Definitely had to modify. Fantastic. I'm glad that you were able to modify that movement. Always important to stick within our range and feel safe when we do our movements. High five, John. High five. Nicely done. All right. If anyone is new and you're just joining, we're having a chat about our live Pilates class that we do every Monday at 4:30 BST. So if you'd like to join next week, you can come and join us. We do a Q&A afterwards for a few moments just to chat and check in, create that community feel, as well as just answer any questions that come up for you in Pilates so that I can help you get stronger, you feel more comfortable when you go into the classes. And some of us just need those little extra tips so you can ask your questions. Bye, Charlene. I hope that you have a lovely week. Thank you so much for joining. All right, I'm just going to give it a few more minutes. Thank you again for your super thanks. It was very, very kind. All right, so that's all the questions for this week. Thank you so much for the lovely chat. Have a beautiful week, and I will see you next week, Monday. Bye, everyone.